Can a bee outsmart a computer? It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. One has been perfecting the art of survival for over 100 million years. The other has been perfecting the art of well-suggesting cat videos you never asked for. But now, these two worlds, one ancient and buzzing, the other modern and blinking, are teaming up. And this isn't just a quirky tech experiment. It's a mission to save the bees, protect our food supply, and maybe teach us a thing or two about working together. So grab your curiosity, maybe a spoonful of honey, and let's start the video. Bees are the unsung heroes of our dinner tables. Every avocado toast, every blueberry muffin, every crunchy almond exists because somewhere, a bee made a pit stop on a flower. In fact, roughly 1/3 of the world's food crops depend on pollination. And yet, we've been treating them like background extras in nature's film when they're actually the main characters. The tragic twist? Their numbers are dropping. Climate change, pesticides, habitat loss, and predators like the invasive Asian hornet are wiping out colonies. Colony collapse disorder is no longer a distant theory, it's a grim reality. Imagine an entire city losing half its population in a week. That's what some beekeepers face. And if the bees go, much of our food goes with them. Enter machine learning, the unlikely sidekick in this survival story. It's a branch of artificial intelligence that thrives on spotting patterns humans can't. And when applied to beekeeping, a practice that's as much art as it is science, it becomes a superpower. Beekeepers are now placing tiny sensors inside hives to monitor temperature, humidity, and weight. These aren't gimmicks, they're life-saving tools. A sudden drop in weight might mean the bees are swarming. A shift in the hum of the hive. A sound so subtle you wouldn't notice it could signal that the queen is missing. Machine learning models can pick up on these tiny signs and sound the alarm before it's too late. Think of it as having a doctor on call for every single hive. A doctor who never sleeps and never complains about being paid in honey. One of the coolest examples comes from Germany's FZI Research Center, where scientists created something called OCELI, an AI-powered camera system that's basically the paparazzi for bees. It sits at the hive entrance, snapping footage of each bee as it comes and goes. And it's not just counting them. OCELI can identify individual bees, track their pollen loads by color, and even analyze their flight patterns. Imagine if your fitness tracker could also tell you what you had for lunch and where you got it. The data this system collects helps farmers know which crops are being pollinated and how well. The best part? It does this without constant hive inspections, which can stress the bees. Less stress equals happier bees, and happier bees make better honey. Everybody wins. But the bees aren't just up against bad weather and shrinking wildflower patches. They've also got predators. The Asian hornet is their worst nightmare, capable of wiping out an entire hive in hours. In the UK, a non-profit called Pollenize has stepped in with a high-tech knight in shining armor, Hornet-AI. This system uses camera-equipped bait stations to detect hornets in real time. As soon as one appears, the alert goes out, and teams can track down and eliminate the nest. Picture a nightclub bouncer who not only keeps troublemakers out, but also hunts down where they live. The survival rates of colonies with Hornet-AI protection are dramatically higher. In Israel, the company BeeWise decided to rethink the hive entirely. Their BeeHomes are robotic hives run by AI that can automate up to 90% of beekeeping tasks. They monitor climate conditions, scan for disease, and even administer treatments automatically. If a comb gets infected, the system can isolate it instantly like a built-in quarantine ward. It's as if the bees have a personal butler who also happens to be a medical genius. And because the robots handle routine maintenance, human beekeepers can focus on the bigger picture. Expanding pollination coverage, conserving habitats, and mentoring new keepers. Disease detection is another area where machine learning shines. Researchers have been training algorithms, specifically convolutional neural networks and support vector machines, to detect diseases like Varroa mite infestations and American foul brood from hive audio and images. Some systems are clocking in with over 95% accuracy. Add hyperspectral imaging into the mix, and AI can even identify the origin of honey. That means no more mystery jars claiming to be local when they've actually traveled farther than you have this year. It's like CSI, but instead of sunglasses and dramatic one-liners, you get bee suits and honey samples. And just when you think technology has all the answers, nature steps in with a reminder that it still has a few tricks of its own. In Canada, conservation dogs like Maple are being trained to sniff out American foulbrood. Outfitted with tiny bee suits for protection, these dogs can detect infections before any visible signs appear. They're faster than lab tests and don't require fancy equipment, just a good nose and a lot of treats. It's a heartwarming partnership. Man's best friend helping man's most essential insect. Forecasting the future is another frontier. Traditionally, predicting honey yields was a mix of experience, superstition, and a touch of luck. Now, machine learning models like Random Forest and XGBoost can forecast yields months in advance using data on weather patterns, rainfall, and hive activity. A 2025 study reported prediction accuracies above 0.75. That might not sound perfect, but in farming, it's like having tomorrow's lottery numbers today. Beekeepers can prepare for boom years or brace for lean ones, managing resources and pricing more effectively. For consumers, it means more stable supplies of honey and pollinated crops. What's most inspiring about all this is that machine learning isn't replacing the human element, it's enhancing it. Beekeeping has always been a blend of observation, intuition, and care. Technology is simply giving us sharper eyes, keener ears, and faster reflexes. It's not about taking over. It's about helping us listen better. Think of it as a translator between two languages. The bees speak in vibrations, scents, and dances. The algorithms speak in graphs, code, and probabilities. The beekeeper stands in the middle, turning that conversation into action. And here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about bees. It's a template for how we can work with nature instead of against it. Too often, technology has been used to push ecosystems to their limits: more yield, faster growth, higher output. But in the case of machine learning and beekeeping, the goal isn't exploitation. It's preservation. By protecting the pollinators, we protect the plants, the animals that depend on those plants, and ultimately ourselves. This is technology as a servant of nature, not its master. Now imagine you're standing in a field on a warm day. You hear the soft drone of bees weaving through the air. Somewhere nearby, an AI camera is noting the color of their pollen. Inside the hive, sensors are tracking the temperature and weight. On a server miles away, algorithms are crunching those numbers, predicting how much honey the colony will produce this season. The story is beautiful because it's shared. The bees are doing their ancient dance. The tech is quietly humming in the background. And we're finally starting to understand that saving them is saving ourselves. This isn't just an agricultural challenge. It's a moral one. The same ingenuity that created smartphones and space rockets is now helping keep a humble insect alive. That's progress worth celebrating. So the next time you drizzle honey into your tea or bite into an apple, remember the hidden network that made it possible. The bee navigating by sunlight, the AI keeping watch for hornets, the robotic hive adjusting its climate, the predictive model planning for the months ahead. Remember that every buzz might be carrying a message, and that somewhere, a human and a machine are working together to make sure that message keeps getting delivered. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next story where nature and tech collide in the most surprising ways. And hey, drop your favorite bee fact or pun in the comments. I promise I'll read them all, even the unbelievably bad ones.